Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I'd like to talk about obesogenic environments. Do you live in one, and is it affecting your weight loss? So obesity is determined by two factors. Number one is your genetics, and number two is your environment, so the things that are going on around you. So the genetic factors, there are a few of them, but it's things like your hunger levels, your drive to do things, and your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, basically the amount of energy you burn through fidgeting. So we've all got that sort of friend who can eat loads of things but never get fat. And it's because they have a high NEAT. So eating more food, they just burn more energy because they fidget more, and it's all just burnt off. So we say they're the lucky ones, but back in the past when we were cavemen, people that burnt a lot of energy through eating more were the ones that died more. So people that conserve energy, so people that when they eat they put on weight, they were the ones that actually survived, because then when we had famines, we had the fat reserves to survive on. So that's one of the reasons that more obesity related genes have survived, because people in the past were able to survive if they got fat, because then they had the reserves when there was no food around. And the other influencing factor over whether you are obese or not is your environment. So the amount of food around you, the access to it, the people around you, their behaviours and how they influence you, the city you live in, whether it's geared up to cars or more walking, things like that. So all those things affect whether you put on weight or not. So we have the genetic factor and the environmental factor. So people who are genetically more predisposed to put on weight can put on weight. However, it's really the environment which predicts whether they will put that weight on or not. So even if you have the genetics which predispose you to being obese, if you live in a non-obesogenic environment, so an environment which promotes weight loss, then you won't be obese. So your genetics have an influence, but your environment really dictates whether you will be obese or not. So like I said before, an obesogenic environment is an environment which promotes more eating and demotes exercise and makes you do less exercise. And this might be your surrounding area, so in your home, but it also might mean the city you live in. So in your home, an obesogenic environment might be where you buy foods which are bad for you. You keep them visible so you can see them, so it encourages you to eat them. And also whether the other people in your home eat healthy or not. A wider obesogenic environment, so your city area, might be whether it's easy to walk everywhere or if you have to get a car, whether there are takeaways nearby, so you have access to easy fast food, whether there are gyms nearby, whether the buildings that you go into have easy access to a staircase, or whether the staircases are hidden and the elevators are more on show, things like that. So what's around you influences whether you do more exercise or whether you eat more. So basically in the modern world we become very efficient. We want to be efficient with everything. So we have cars, we have fast food, and it makes our lives easier. However, we're reducing the amount of movement and exercise we're doing and increasing the availability of food and the amount of food that we're eating. And that's basically what's made us obese. So even if we have that genetic predisposition to be obese, it's the environment that's dictating whether we put that weight on or not. So guys, knowing that you might live in an obesogenic environment, you can change it. So the easiest way to do that is start in the small area, so in your home. So the food you buy, make sure you buy healthier stuff, make sure you keep food hidden and not on display so you don't just eat it through cravings, things like that. Make sure you encourage the people around you to eat healthier as well, or if you can't, eat away from them or cook your own meals. If you don't have much movement in your day, make sure you go for walks and get enough steps in, things like that. And if your city is geared up to more things like cars, the more extreme thing you could do would be to move. However, that's not always practical. So you can do things like parking further away from where you're going and just trying to think of clever ways to get more movement into your day. So just to summarize, shape your environment so it's not obesogenic. Have more access to healthy food. Do more movement and exercise if you know you're not doing enough. make your life more difficult, make it less efficient, because that's when we burn more energy. Making our lives more efficient is why we're putting on so much weight. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, share and comment as always, and I'll see you in the next one.